Doing what I do here, obviously, I watch a lot of different types of movies. And I'm here to tell you that this might be the cringiest cringe that has ever cringed. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So I don't review a lot of comedies on this channel, and when I use the word comedy in reference to this movie, I'm using that term very loosely. It's almost as if Hollywood has actually moved away from the genre completely. And I do think there are a couple of reasons for that. For one, I just don't think we have the same amount of comedic geniuses that we used to have working in the business. The type of comedians who could take a concept like this and make it work. Those type of minds just really don't exist anymore. And the other reason that I think Hollywood has moved away from comedies is that a lot of people are just hypersensitive to everything.
S-O-F capital T, soft, huh?
And this puts restrictions on the people trying to create comedy. What You People is trying to do and ultimately failing at is taking all of these sensitive subjects and using a, well, it's funny because it's real approach. But in reality, I don't think there's much that's actually real about it.
What is real? How do you define real?
This is a comedy for the Twitter generation. Through and through. And we all know that Twitter does not represent real life. And how do I know that? Well, this movie takes every single Twitter buzzword imaginable and awkwardly injects it into a unfunny comedy with unrealistic dialogue. They literally cover every single topic you think they would cover. Religion, LGBTQ, Bitcoin, politics, vaccinations, and yes, even racism. Ironically enough, I found a very accurate tweet from an account called Truth Detector, and it pretty much summed up exactly what I was thinking about this movie while watching it. The You People script reads as if it were written by AI. The movie plays as if it were directed by AI. I wept for the talented actors left to meander aimlessly throughout. And I don't think I've ever read anything more real in my life. Literally, if you asked a computer to construct a script based on data collected from Twitter reactions, this is the movie that computer would write. Which makes it all the more sad that living, breathing human beings actually created it. And probably thought it was a good idea in the process. It wasn't. The movie thinks that it's delivering smart, socially relevant comedy. But it's nowhere near as intelligent as it thinks that it is.
What an idiot!
In fact, most times I'm not even sure that the movie's creators knew exactly what they wanted this movie to be. Social commentary, rom-com, edgy racially charged comedy, all of the above? Sadly, it doesn't do any of those things all that well. And thus you are left with a complete waste of everyone's time and energy.
Don't waste my time!
Not to mention, if your plan with this movie was to shine a light on insensitivity between races and religious groups, then maybe you should have gone about it in a much more subtle way. In a more organic way instead of bashing audiences over the head with it. Because to me, what you actually gave us comes off as being more divisive than anything. It's not fixing the problem, it's actually making the problem that you're trying to address worse.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
I thought at the very least with this movie that the talented cast would elevate the material just a little bit, because I assure you this is a phenomenal cast. Anyone who knows me knows that the biggest reason I had any interest in this movie was because of Eddie Murphy. One of my cinematic heroes who I have so much love for. So much so that I use one of his best quotes from one of his best movies to finish off every single video I make. All I really want, all any real Eddie Murphy fan wants, is to see the Eddie that we know and love at least one more time.
Excuse me?
Now obviously he's not going to go full raw and full delirious Eddie Murphy, but to channel just a fraction of some of that old energy would be amazing. But unfortunately, in You People, it feels like Eddie is there just going through the motions. It's actually doing him a disservice as a comedy legend, in my opinion. But it's not just him. A lot of the cast, including Jonah Hill, who actually co-wrote this movie as well. But I guess it's hard to bring a truly lifeless script to life, no matter who you are.
That makes sense.
I think the only high spot of this movie was probably Laura London as Jonah's love interest. She felt like the only actor or actress who wanted to be there. And because of that, I'd like to see more of her, because she was just enjoyable and full of energy throughout most of her screen time. Although I have to be honest, her and Jonah Hill have like zero romantic chemistry.
No, don't like that.
Listen, we've seen movies like this before, right? Look Who's Coming to Dinner, Guess Who with Bernie Mac. A new couple dealing with the challenges of coming from different backgrounds, and the parents doing everything they can, either directly or indirectly, to break them up. And the idea with You People was to put a modern spin on that. And I'm sure on paper that sounded very relevant and topical, but all it really did for me was show me that this idea has already been done, and done much better.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Even from a comedy perspective, this concept has been covered already in a much less mean-spirited way. I just don't think that modern writers are capable of delivering this message in any other way than like this. Overt, heavy-handed, shallow, and unintelligent. And worst part of all, unfunny. I kid you not, for a comedy, I don't think I laughed one time.
Ha ha, very funny, motherfucker.
Being someone who prides himself on being heavily influenced by other cultures, and always having interactions with people from other cultures, I can honestly say that real people in real life just don't talk and act this way. At least, not the majority. Now, I understand it's supposed to be exaggerated situations to enhance the comedy, but if it's supposed to be exaggerated in a caricature of society, rather than an accurate representation, you can't suddenly drop this heartfelt monologue at the end of the movie talking about the ills of modern society. It just really doesn't work that way. It causes a serious clash of tones and sends a mixed signal in regards to the message you're trying to deliver. That's why I'm going to give You People the Angry Rocky.
That's right, it stinks!
Y'all be cool. Right on.